Lynn.
No.
Liam don't know, so.
I did see that. I always check it every week.
Yeah, I have,
Antibiotics.
You did get a
He's
response
okay,
from
and
them?
then he goes off right back at it.
have they checked his skills? Never found nothing in it?
Well, it's not quite
They
6
did.
o'clock yet.
Oh, I was going
So now he's on something else.
Sorry, the parasites.
And no, and it's not that stuff going around either.
I don't know why I didn't know this.
So it's, no,
And now it's jalapeno peppers.
I know, can't eat anything anymore.
Okay, we'll call this meeting to order. We'll have roll call. Sandy?
Here.
Mike?
Here.
Lori?
Here.
And Teresa here. The minutes of the last meeting.
Sean read fire runs, Teresa
Try to
asked,
speak up a little, Sandy, if you.
Sean read fire runs, Teresa asked about Kid Day, it went really well, good turnout. Sean, Mike, T, and Eric are going to Florida for pre-build of truck. They'll be going again, for the final one next April or May. The playground concrete is poured, waiting on bases. Board is checking on Wi-Fi. Bruce went over his report, hedged clippers broke, he will take it to get it fixed, old business. Tree is done at Heenan. Streetlights, Mike and Sandy will work on that together. Teresa asked about getting a new light pole, around $235. Planning for the 250th is going well. Mike located a VJ, Nick is working on the speaker. Garrett is bringing in cover guard. Only got one bid for the road for South Street, $29,944. Alley, $27,080. Tabled it, meeting adjourned.
Okay, I make a motion, we accept the minutes from last month.
Second.
Okay, it's been accepted and seconded.
Attention Garrett Fire Rescue, attention Garrett Fire Rescue.
There you go. Okay, we'll have fire department.
Perfect. So last month, we responded to a total of 11 incidents. There were 4 in Fairfield, 3 in Richland Township, 1 in the town of Corona, and 3 of those were mutual aid outside areas. It was come down to 5 medical assist, 2 fire calls, 1 public service, and 3 non-emergent calls.
So how many was that altogether?
At the end of that month, we were at 87 runs.
87?
And I believe we turned number 89 yesterday.
Okay,
We're actually down. From
hallelujah.
the last few years.
That's
Yeah.
good.
So if my math's somewhat correct, we're on track for like 150, 60-ish.
Mhm.
If the averages stay the same.
That's, boy, last year, how many did we have last year? Do you remember?
We
just
were
write
about
that
180.
I know it was up.
So it was 190, 200, 180, so we
Yep.
kind of had a peak and now it's coming back down a little bit.
Mhm.
The other thing I wanted to touch base with you a little bit while we're here is kind of come up to speed a little bit on the fire truck.
Mhm.
So the final proof, prints are in, the change order's been submitted for, little things. So what happens is they build a truck, they say this is what it looks like, and then it goes to engineering, and how engineers are. They come in and say, well, this is probably not gonna work, or you're gonna have to change some stuff. So we did end up with, an overage of $700. So we elected to just keep that overage. All in all, with, the prepayments and everything that's been made and discounts, we are at a balance of $174,350 is what we still owe on that truck. That balance is due upon release from the factory, which is suspected for April of 2027. So that is the actual budget of today. And look now, if you take in, speaking with Pam, the Cume Fund from Richland Township. She says as of January 1, we should be sitting at 45,000 in there. So if we apply that 45, that takes us down to 129,350. And I have this all in spreadsheets because I know you're visual people, but I can't get my printer to work. So that is why I ran in at the 11th hour trying to get my printer to work. So we are at, we're 129,350.
That's the loan amount that we're gonna have to figure out.
That's what we're projecting if we receive no other monies. We have our mailer fundraiser going out, that'll go out here in the next few weeks to months. I don't remember when exactly it goes out, I think September-ish. That is gonna be focused, the letter that we wrote for that is focused around fundraising for paying that balance down. And then Mike, you were there when we had the meeting with the two townships. So Darren Urian told us that, Fairfield has $30,000 that they would pay towards this. But
We haven't seen that yet.
they won't, Darren has not returned Mike Tullis's phone calls. So, Mike's worked on it with him, cause Mike's got the relationship with him, and he doesn't return Mike's phone calls. So, I don't know where that sits. If we were to get that 30, that would take us under 100,000.
Do you know if he gave Ashley their 30
He
yet?
did, yep. He told us at that time he'd already given Ashley their 30. So that's what he would give us, and it's in their budget report on Gateway. So it's paid.
Maybe he's waiting until he goes out of office and then you don't have to worry about it.
I don't know. I think, yeah,
That's my strategy.
He'll make a fine county commissioner.
Not much longer.
well, I'm not gonna talk politics, but that is money that was on a, gentleman's agreement per se, that he said that they would pledge towards that. Would love to get that. That would be a nice chunk. That would put us right around 99. I think it's like 99,350, but I'm not counting on it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say.
it comes in, it's a bonus.
Yeah, I mean, we know Richland Township's good to their word. Pam will take care of it. I have zero
Yes.
doubts of that. And it's in her resolution to do such for the Cume Fund. So that money is money that I think 100% we can count on, but that's where that 129,350 comes in.
Okay.
So,
I wanna back up just a second.
Yeah.
You said something about when the truck is released from the factory.
yep. So the truck's released from the factory.
I'm
Yeah.
not done.
Oh, sorry, Mike.
April of 27.
Yes, we're a year ahead of schedule.
That's what I was gonna say. I thought we were looking at 28.
Yeah,
We were, when we signed papers, when you all signed the purchase agreement in January, it was, 24 to 28 month lead time,
Yeah,
and we're gonna be like 18, 16 months.
that's what I thought you said.
Yeah, we were, this kinda caught me off guard as well. They called me up, our salesman got a hold of us early last month and said, hey, we're ready for pre-construction. Pre-construction wasn't supposed to take place until January of next year. And then we were looking at January or spring of 28 to go down and do the final. And right now, the truck's online to do the final for April of 2027.
well, this may be a stupid question, but what if they have it already and we cannot come up with all that money that fast? Because we had that all budgeted out
Mhm.
into 28. So, I don't think they can do a whole lot about it because there was an agreement.
Well, then I don't know how I'd have to read through the contract of that, to be honest with you.
Yes.
I mean, the reality of it is, so the Cume Fund had more in it than we anticipated when we did the original projections. So we were figuring on getting 25,000 a year out of the Cume Fund, coming out to 50,000. In the 2 years, we're getting 45 in 1 year. We're not really that far off of the numbers that I figured we would be at. We were kind of anticipating to be at about 130 to 120,000 when we initially talked about this, of the amount that would be financed. So we're not really that far off budget being a year ahead. But I did mention that to our salesman, I said, "Oh, I love that our
Yeah.
truck's coming early, but holy cow, you just made me a budget headache."
Yeah, yeah, because we may not have that much money at that time.
Well,
Yeah,
the way we were talking, we weren't gonna have to come up, we were gonna have to take a loan out.
Correct, you guys are to take out the note,
But
and
the-
then we would make the payment out of the queue.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
So-
we were actually never gonna have to come up with any money,
okay.
Richland Township's paying for it, the loan,
yeah.
Correct,
because we signed that into our budget.
yes, yeah, so Richland's gonna take care of the note, we just have to take the note. Obviously, the smaller the note is, the less interest we pay, and the quicker we pay this off, the more money we save Richland Township and the taxpayers as a whole. So that's the end goal, is to pay this off as absolute fast as possible. But,
Well, you guys will just have to work with Mike and I'm assuming that's where we're gonna go for a loan.
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know how that works, I don't know if you have to put that out to get, I know in the city, the last time we took out a loan on a ladder truck, they had to put it out basically for bid and see who came back with the best interest rate on it, but I don't know how any of that works, I can, maybe Sandy does, if not, I'm sure, Derek does. How that process of obtaining that loan would be,
Yeah,
but,
okay. All right,
tell the guys that the park looks nice.
yeah, Mike and Aaron did a great job on that.
Yeah, they did.
Getting that around. Very
I've
proud.
seen a bunch of kids playing in the mud down there when we came over, where that's all cut down. They were just having a blast down in there.
What
And they're not done,
What
Mike's
is
got a lot more to
going
do,
over
he's
there?
got a lot more plans.
A smaller place that Mike got it,
Yeah.
ordered.
Yeah, he's got grant money to pay for a lot more, he's got more plans.
And it's supposed to be for younger kids. I forgot what age.
Correct, that's what that other pad's for,
Okay,
so,
yeah. Well, they were having fun.
yeah, there's more kids over there messing around all the time now, I see, so.
Yeah, they're really using the park. I just, just hope and pray they don't do any vandalism in it, because they're using it, and it's good to see that they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you have anything else, Eric?
I do not, and if you don't have anything for me, I'm supposed to be in Auburn at 6:30 for a training,
Okay.
so.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank
Yes,
you.
we're making them.
Okay, Justin?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Well, I wasn't gonna sit there because I don't have a good side of you there, Teresa, sorry about that. So to start with here, I just had a few things that I had noted down. The inspection items, I sent them all to you guys in that text thread. Those are all done. The only thing we didn't do was paint those, feet on the water tower, which, Mike said that paint was still good to use out there. They really don't even need it, it's just something we can put on there, but they replied back, I think I sent a screenshot to Sandy, but everything's good, so there's nothing else to do with that, other than that power cord that was up there, Mike. I don't know if you ever talked to, it seems you and I talked about that with the internet company, had the extension cord out there.
Yeah, did we talk to them about that?
We called, they're not called back.
Okay,
I haven't gone by there recently, but I know when we were up there on the legs, it wasn't fixed, it was still there, so just something to maybe keep in mind, and, heck, we can pull the plug if you really wanna get their attention.
yeah. Go ahead and then I'll ask you later.
Did you have a question about that, Lori, about the inspection items, or?
No.
Oh, sorry, I thought you had your hand up there or something. Okay, the other item here, that Sandy has a copy of is, the wellhead protection plan update. And, the Alliance of Indiana Rural Water pretty much has taken most of that responsibility on. The one thing that I added in there for whoever's gonna sign it tonight, was that there's a spot in there about the local planning team, which is just 3 people. So, I mean, myself, Sandy, whoever signs it, that can be the local planning team. We had to put down a date of when we met, so we are meeting right now, and that's the date I put down. And it's just to discuss, the logistics of the wellhead protection plan, The purpose of it obviously is to protect the wellhead, but nothing's changed in Corona since the last submittal. It's all the same. It changes realistically if you get like a user that could contaminate the aquifer. If there was a critical user somewhere, that might, be affected by it, like a doctor's office or a hospital or something like that, if one got put in, or if you guys took out or put in a new well, which none of that has applied. So there's really not a ton of changes other than, just some clerical stuff. So it's on there, it's there to review. The only thing we need to do is just have it signed, and then Sandy can, email it in, and then it's just waiting on IDEM to approve it. We were a little late on that, but that was some of the alliance's delay on it, but we're good now. They approved an extension on the submittal. Any questions on that at all, or?
Sign it right here.
Yeah, just a highlighted portion there. And then just your title,
Just me
Teresa.
or-
I wasn't sure who was signing it, so. And then the last item that I have, that was kind of an interesting discussion, Sandy and I have spoken about it quite a bit. So back in 2024, there was a requirement with the EPA to inspect all the service lines that basically leave the water main. Originally, they had sent out a notification that we needed to validate them at the supply to the home, which would be the curb stop or the meter pit, and then when that line leaves the meter pit, assuming that if it's, let's say, copper and copper or plastic and plastic, then there's no lead. Which we did all that, and we submitted the inventory for the town of Corona, validating that there were no lead lines. Everything was copper and plastic. Well, a violation letter got sent out to many utilities, probably of which out of the 80 or 90 that we operate, I'd say at least 75% of them got one, mainly stating that they want now for the line to be validated inside the home. Because that was our original question, as I said, well, if we're validating it at these two locations, which was compliant at the time, how do we know something didn't change between, in the town of Corona's case, the meter pit and the home? And everybody kind of said it was the current conundrum that was taking place, that nobody really knew the answer. Because obviously before 1991, you guys all had wells, for the town, and that's how the homes were fed, were private individual wells. And I can pretty much guarantee most of the lines after they got connected onto the town supply were just taken from the well and hooked right up to the town supply. I mean, that would have been the normal practice in the 90s to do that. So whatever that well line was, from whenever that well was drilled, from 91 connection on, that would have probably been the likelihood of what they would have did. I don't see them running a brand new line to the home every time that the town supply got hooked up to a house. So that's what they want now, is we either have to have the customers, which I have a 3-page document that I'm waiting on the final approval from IDEM on, Sandy, that will outline all of this stuff, about the notification of the customers that the line in their home is unknown, because we don't know what it is. So Teresa, I don't know what type of line you have coming in your house.
Right.
I know at your meter pit, it's copper and copper.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, to be able to update this inventory, what comes up through your home.
Right.
The bad part is that they are insinuating that the town will be responsible to change that line if it is a lead line or a galvanized line, which to me seems a little ridiculous, but they're kind of navigating through some of that now. The good thing is that doesn't occur till like 2034, I believe, when the enforcement starts on that, so we get a lot of time to figure out funding and things along those lines. But in the meantime, up until 2034, we have to notify the customers if the line is still unknown, and then continue to try to obtain that data and upload it into the EPA's database between now and 2034. Now, I don't anticipate it to take very long for Corona, being that there's only 100 service connections, but in that notice, there'll be 2 options. One, the customer can take a picture of the line coming in, and they can send their address and the picture to our email address. And that's option one. And if people don't do that, then we have to physically go out, knock on the door, try to obtain access to be able to document that line. So, you know, larger cities and towns are affected much greater than you guys, but in a nutshell, that's what has to be done.
So who would pay for that, the customer or the town,
For the line replacement,
if they have to replace it?
the EPA is saying now the town does.
We
So,
have to go from the meter pit in?
correct.
Oh, bullshit.
Oh, I know, trust me, it's created a lot of issues. The only ones that really have been affected that we operate are like travel centers. We do a lot of like pilots and flying J's and speedways. Those were easy. So those were kind of, but anybody with a service connection count, a town, a homeowners association, a factory that might have multiple entry points, they're all doing the same thing right now. And it's kind of a mess.
I guess when you get done with this survey, then in a couple of years, they're gonna come back and say, well, that's not good enough, we need to know what all the interior plumbing is.
That is actually our argument, because I did about 12 of them in the town of Orland, and the line coming in is plastic, and you go up about 2 feet, and there's a big chunk of galvanized pipe. So I said, well, the line coming in is plastic, which is what you told us to validate,
Yeah.
but within visual eyesight, within a 2-foot section, there's a chunk of galvanized. According to the rules,